All right, everyone, we're going to get started here. Welcome to the Get to Maui training. This is Caroline French, Emerald Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. And I'm just kind of getting familiar here with the Zoom controls, make sure I've got it set up correctly. Okay. All right, here, give me one more second. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you guys can follow along and take notes. So let me do that. And you should see me as the speaker, but I am not seeing me. Okay. All right, awesome. Okay, so we're going to get going here. Super excited you guys are on. And let me just, I've got two different things I'm going to be sharing throughout the presentation. So let me just make sure I had it all set up. Let me just make sure I've got it going. Okay, all right, there we go. Okay, so our agenda for tonight is we're going to be going through how to work your business, the exact activities that you need to be doing to grow your business, to increase the pace of your business, to give it focus and direction. Okay, so, if you don't know the exact things that you need to be doing, then you're just going to be kind of, playing darts in the dark. So you've got to know exactly what you need to be doing and have that focus and direction to your business. And this is also for you as you grow your team. So we always want to be working the basics of our personal businesses, okay? So that's how it all happens. We've got to know the activities that even as we grow our teams, that we continue to be doing ourselves, and then be learning how to better duplicate it down to our team members. We want to be doing the daily activities that grow our business, that give it pace, that give us focus and direction to reaching our goals. And then we want to be having our team members duplicating us in the same activities that we are doing. So that is the name of the game, is doing it ourselves and duplicating it down to your team members. So as we go through this, keep that in mind, that the purpose of this presentation is to always bring ourselves back to the basics so that we can be doing those better and also be duplicating those with our team members. Okay, so why are you here? Obviously, this is a Get to Maui training. So, and Maui really is your big, huge goal. For many of you, your goal is to get to Maui. For some of you, it may be different, okay? But you need to think about, why are you here? What is it that you want out of your business? Why are you an ambassador? Why are you working this as a business? So as you can see here, there's a bunch of different things that are on the screen. And this really walks you through different phases of my why, on why I'm doing this and why I've been an ambassador for 22 months and why I'm continuing on. So for me personally, it started off with the products. I had some deep health issues and needs, and I decided to take a chance on it because Susan Stern shared with me that about the natural ingredients of the products. And that's really what drew me in, with the natural ingredients to the products and why I wanted to try them. In the same token, I joined the business because I was looking for a business opportunity, something that I could do online, something I could do in my own time, and make some extra money. So that's really what drew me in, and I figured, okay, I'm going to go ahead and join as an ambassador so I get that lowest cost, and hopefully I can start, building this into something. So that was really my first why. It really moved into more of, I had some deep health needs, but I also, I really wasn't sure what the products could do for me in feeling better. But I wanted to lose excess weight that I had not been able to do despite working with doctors, doing extreme elimination diets to improve my health and so forth. I was still carrying around a lot of extra baggage. So really my why turned from trying the product, trying the business into my life and my health, seeing little improvements along the way that turned into huge improvements. And so that became my why. And then really just, taking steps with the business. As you can see there, number 3, that's a picture of my old office building where I used to work in downtown Dallas, Texas. I live just east of Dallas, Texas. And so it really became apparent that this is a real viable opportunity and that a far off goal of eventually being able to replace my income was within reach. And so that became my why for working this business, not only for my own health reasons, but also for working my business. And then it moved into this could really be the vehicle that we've been praying for and looking for being able to pay off debts, achieve financial freedom in the future. Number 5, you see a hammer there. We've been remodeling our house ourselves for 3 years now. We only haven't been doing much for a year. But that is a huge goal of ours to be able to pay for that, in cash, and to finish our home. And, all leading up to number 6, which is a picture of Josh and me. And we are our family unit right now, but we're praying for our family to expand. And being able to be debt-free and have financial freedom is going to give us more options to see how God wants to grow our family. So that is my huge, big why. And as far as other people, this team, I've achieved Emerald now. I want to help every single person get to this level who wants to be here, who is willing to work for it. So that is a huge part of my why now. So this is just a small snapshot of some of the people on our team that were at convention. And so all leading up to health and wealth. Health problems and financial problems are 2 of the biggest shackles that really chain us down and keep us from living the life that we are called to live. And so that is my overall purpose, I feel, is taking this opportunity in both products and in the business to people that need it, that it can totally change their world. So this is my why. You can see my dream board off to the side there. But I really kind of wanted to walk you through that. You can see the small pictures of the diamond level Lexus and a picture of Maui there in the bottom right. For many people, that is their why, is to the perks, to earn the trips, to earn the cars, and so forth. And I love the perks that our company gives us. For me personally, it's never been a huge part of my why. I absolutely love earning the trips. I've earned a Lexus, but I haven't gotten it yet. I'm waiting on that for right now. For other people, like let's say Diamond Ambassador Andrea Mitchell, she joined as an ambassador because she saw Celeste Gwynn earning a $5,000 shopping spree to Bloomingdale's. So each of us is motivated by different things. And so I just want you to know that when you are developing your why, and your why is going to grow and build over time, it may start off just like mine, or similar, with just trying the product, trying the business, and giving it a real shot, and develop into more. So as you continue on and as you learn and grow. So just know that it is really, really, really important that you begin thinking of your why. And before I start any coaching with people or talking with new ambassadors, it's why did you join as an ambassador? What do you want out of this? What do you see some goals being for yourself? What are the reasons? Is it for your family? What is it for your family? Paying for kids' activities, whatever it may be. I want you to start really thinking about that and developing that why. Because as you're going to see here in a few minutes, it is the most important thing that we're going to talk about in our business as a whole. We're going to get into nuts and bolts in this training, but your why is extremely valuable to you. So you want to make sure that you are continuing to really search yourself and find your why. And especially as you continue on in your business, you'll see that grow and deepen, but you have to keep examining that so that you can develop that why. Okay, so what I want to do now, hang on one second. Let me see if I can figure out how to get out of here. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to play a little clip for you.
How do you explain when things don't go as we assume? Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions? For example, why is Apple so innovative? Year after year after year after year, they're more innovative than all their competition. And yet, they're just a computer company. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access, the same talent, the same agencies, the same consultants, the same media. Then why is it that they seem to have something different? Why is it that Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement? He wasn't the only man who suffered in a pre-civil rights America, and he certainly wasn't the only great orator of the day. Why him? And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out controlled powered manned flight when there were certainly other teams who were better qualified, better funded, and they didn't achieve powered manned flight? The Wright brothers beat them to it. There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery, and this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operated it. As it turns out, there's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose, what's your cause, what's your belief. Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go clearest thing, the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because it's easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done. That's how most sales is done. And that's how most of us communicate personally. We say what we do. We say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers, the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients who business with us. Here's our new car. It's good gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You ready to buy a computer from me? All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat-screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat-screen TVs. They've been making flat-screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs. And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products. And nobody bought one. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy an MP3 player from a computer company? But we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The goal is not to do business with everybody who needs what you have. The goal is business with people who believe what you believe. Here's the best part.
Okay, wow. Was that not a shift in thinking? So your why is absolutely the cornerstone of your business and why you're doing it. And so as we go through these next things, I want you to think about, one, capturing the things that you need to be doing, but thinking about why you are a Plexus ambassador, why you're working your business, and how you can do these things and be communicating your why to the people that you're talking to, okay? So, wow, the golden circle. If you want to see the whole thing, he goes on, you can just Google TED Talk, the golden circle, and you'll find it. You'll find it on TED Talks, you'll find it on YouTube, so you can just Google that and you can listen to the rest of it if you'd like to. But that's really the crux of what I wanted us to see was right there. So, invaluable information. So you share your why, you share your belief. That's going to be what draws people in. That's going to make people want what you have to offer. Okay, I'm hearing that my microphone's cutting out just a little bit. Sorry. Sorry about that. So hopefully it won't anymore. All right. So now that you know why you were here, who do you want with you in Maui? Okay, so this is your contact. This is who do you want? Who do you want with you on your team that you would absolutely die if they called you up and told you that they heard about Plexus and joined somebody else? Who do you want with you in Maui? This starts with making a list of 20 names, 20 people. Okay, so you should be able to come up with a list of 20 people off the top of your head really, really easily. 20 people. Then I want you to put a star by the ones that you really want on your team. These could be dream team members. This could be for a variety of reasons. It's a best friend. This is a really, person with a huge network. They're a mover and a shaker. They're influential. They're fun. You just like them. So these are 10 people. You're going to put a star by the ones you really want on your team. Now you're going to put a P by the ones you really want on the products. This could be a need that you know of for health reasons. Maybe they've tried some other supplements before. Whatever it is, 10 people that you want really on the product. And then I want you to write call by 3 people that you are going to contact today, tomorrow. I know we're closing out the night here. Who are 3 people that you could pick up the phone and call and talk to them about Plexus? Okay, so a little bit of fun here for those of you that are on this live meeting. If you send me that list tonight by midnight Central Time, I'll enter you into a drawing for a prize. Okay, and it'll be something that I brought back from Maui, from the Emerald Extravaganza. So there's your challenge tonight, to do a list of 20 names. Okay, these are 20 people that are not customers. These are 20 people that you have not reached out to before. These are people that are not on your team. These are 20 new names. You're going to start by the ones you really want on your team, put a P by the ones you really want on the product, and write call by 3 people that you know that you can contact today or tomorrow, okay? And you're going to send that to me. You can just private message it to me by midnight Central Time, and you'll be entered into a drawing for a prize, something that I got in Maui, okay? So how do you come up with this 20 names? If you're struggling for new people, memory joggers are a great way to come up with names. What a memory jogger is it's just a list of categories of people that you might know. It's helping you think about different types of people that are in your world, in your circle, to help you be thinking of who they are. And there's also the Friends method. So this is an example here of a memory jogger. I just Googled memory joggers on, I just Googled it and it came up with a whole bunch of different lists and things. So this is just one example. There's another example in the files on the Freedom Finders team page. So you can go through that if you need help coming up with people. There's also the Franks method. And this is a really good method for helping you think about different groups of people that are in your life. Franks, F is for friends, okay? People from church, school, college, your wedding, sports activities that you've been in, clubs, whatever it is, relatives, that should be pretty explanatory. Acquaintances, these are people that maybe you wouldn't call a friend, but you know. So this could be from anywhere. The salon, where you go to the chiropractor, the dentist office, your doctor's office, insurance agents, and whatever. Neighbors, that's pretty self-explanatory too. People that live in your subdivision or in your community or right next door on your street. Kids connections, these would be people that you know because of your kids. They're parents. If your kids are grown, it could be their grown friends. So this could be anyone in the world of your child. If they're in school, it could be their principals, teachers, coaches, what have you. And then service organizations. So, if you don't belong to any service organizations, then maybe check out your local Chamber of Commerce or different clubs, Rotary, Lions Club, there's all different kinds of things. So to figure out what's in your area and what you might be able to plug into based upon your interests. Okay, so that should help you. The next thing is, what are you going to do with this list? Okay, so the name of the game is sharing. If you don't share, then people don't know. People don't know your why. They don't know why you're passionate about Plexus. They don't know why you're doing it. They don't know, why you're passionate about the product and the opportunity. So these are the different ways that we share. And I'm just going to kind of start with the top left there. Social media. Social media is huge, you guys. It has been a huge catalyst for Plexus taking off and growing like it has. Okay, that's because you can share with your friends and family and social media audience all at once in such a soft way. You can have a soft drip campaign constantly on social media. So you definitely want to be out there sharing Plexus on social media if you are not already. The next thing is, my goodness, selfies, bottom left. The selfie is huge, you guys. As part of sharing on social media, you don't want to just be sharing about products. You don't want to just be sharing testimonies. You don't want to just be sharing about the opportunity. You want to share something personal to you. It can be as simple as taking a picture of yourself holding your pink treat or another product. Maybe a picture of yourself reading a personal development book. It could be a picture of yourself right now doing this training, something that connects you to Plexus and shows people that you are doing something with this, that you are going somewhere. You could take a selfie right now of yourself doing this training, and you could post it on Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media you use and say, boom, I'm doing training right now on how to get to Maui. I'm going places with this. Come with me. I mean, something like that. It doesn't have to be that, but something very similar. Other ways that you can contact people, you see up in the top center, the phone. Man, have we gotten away from using the phone and calling people. I don't know if you know who Julia Carty is. She is a brand new Diamond Ambassador on the Plexus Power team that we're all under, and she is on the weekly corporate leaderboard every single week for business building bonuses. He makes the leaderboard. Her advice is pick up the phone and call your friends. Call your friends. This is also a way that you can work more efficiently because phone calls can really cut to the chase and you can share information versus trading messages back and forth. So pick up the phone, let your friends know what you're doing. Ask them if you can send them information or share with them. So pick up the phone and use it. If somebody's in your contact list in your phone, they're probably somebody that you could pick up the phone and call. Also, other ways to reach out in a personal way. Social media is great, you guys. It gives a constant drip campaign. It can reach a lot of people, but it cannot replace the personal message. So using Messenger, okay, that's going to be sending messages through Facebook. When you use that, you can see who's on Messenger, which is the phone app for Facebook messaging. Email is another great personal way to reach out to people. Both Messenger and emails are great ways to send those personal messages. Individually, not in groups, but sending individual messages. And it doesn't have to be a long message. A reach out can be super, super short and sweet, but make it heartfelt. Tell them why you're reaching out to them. Tell them why you want them on your team. Tell them why they would be great at it. Tell them what you love about them, but make it personal. Okay, events. Events are huge, you guys. We're going to talk more about this, but events, that is really where everything comes together in sharing Plexus. People get to feel the passion. They get to hear testimonies. They're getting great information about our company and products and opportunity. Events cannot be duplicated. So that is a great way to introduce or give people more information and share with them is getting them and inviting them to events and personally inviting them, telling them why you want them there. Is it because it's going to be fun? Because they're going to be, meeting awesome people? Is it because they're going to get more detailed information on products? Is it because they're going to see how the company and products are helping people? Is it because they're going to find a way to earn extra money? And you know that they're a driven person and they can do it. So whatever that is, whatever speaks their language, use that in inviting them to events. And then as you see in the bottom right, you're going to see coffee dates. It can be as simple as saying, hey, let's go grab a hot tea. Let's go grab a coffee. You can do lunches too, whatever works. But maybe it's people that you work with during the day. Go grab lunch with them. If you have that freedom during the day or mornings or maybe on Saturdays, whatever it is, invite somebody to coffee. Say, hey, I would love to share with you for a few minutes, over coffee. Can we do that? Because I'd really love to see you and tell you what I'm doing. Okay, so next, after sharing is following up. It is awesome if you are sharing with people, but if you are not following up, then you're going to miss a huge portion of your business. As you can see here, the sales statistics, 48% of salespeople, that's you as ambassadors, never follow up with somebody. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and then they stop. 12% only make 3 contacts and stop. And only 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. Now, I'm not sure of the exact number of you that are on this Zoom tonight, but let's say for every 10 of you, only 1 of you are going to go past 3 contacts. Only 1 of you will. So 2% of sales are not made on the first contact. Actually, 2% of sales are made on the first contact. So that's super small, you guys. That just shows you that not many people are going to know enough yet or going to believe your passion enough yet to make a decision on the first contact. 3% of sales are made on the second. 5% are made on the third contact. 10% of sales are made on the fourth. And 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. So going back to that, that means that is a very, very, very small number of you who are on the Zoom tonight who are actually going to go all the way to doing 5th contacts all the way to the 12th and actually being able to close people. Okay? So that is why the follow-up is so important. It's not just important that you share with people, but you have to be following up with them. And in following up, that is a skill that you can learn. Checking in with them, learning what language and what things are important to them so that you know how to follow up with. Those are all things that you can learn and get better with so that you can take that right on up to closing someone as a customer or as an ambassador on your team. Okay, so let's go back to that list. I'm just saying start off with 20. A lot of you guys have heard make a list of 100 people, make a list of 200 people. And while that is awesome, that's great. You're going to build up to that and beyond. If that's overwhelming, start with 20. And know that your list is going to be ever changing. You need to continue adding to that list and adding names and people to it because you're going to be working through that list. So you have to continue to have that list, that bucket full of people that you can share Plexus with. Okay? And you're going to need to find a system. So as you can see there, it's going to take multiple times in following up with people and working with them before the time is right for them, before they hear what they needed to hear, before they have the belief in it like you do, okay, before your passion gets across to them. You're going to need a system. And so that system could be an electronic list or an electronic software, maybe online system or Excel spreadsheet. It could be handwritten notebooks and lists. You can use the index card system. I'm hearing more and more about this index card system. And so what it means is you have an index card for every single prospect. And so as soon as you contact them, you write their name on it. Okay? And then when you reach out to them, you are going to put a system in place for how often you're going to follow up. And you're going to just move that card to the date or month in which you need to follow up with them. And so you're just, as you contact people and as you follow up with them, you're just moving that card, you're writing little notes on it and so forth. So it's a great system that's working for a lot of people that an electronic system doesn't work well for. So find a system that works for you. Start out with something, and then if that's not working, then find a better system. Talk to your upline, talk to your team members and see what they're doing. But you've got to have a system so that you can track it, so that you know when you followed up with someone and who you followed up with so that you can keep them in your pipeline. All right, so how do you learn how to do all this, okay? So it's training, you guys. You have to train yourselves and you have to keep continuing to learn it. So, there's a bunch of you who are seasoned ambassadors on here, and we're going over basics because we always have to remember and return to the basics in our own personal business. And if we're not doing the basics ourselves, then we can't duplicate it down to our team. We can't teach them how to do it, and we're not going to follow our lead if we're not doing it ourselves. So here's how you do it. It's through YouTube training, team pages, training calls, and there's other resources as well. Okay, so YouTube, these are the ones that I personally follow and use the most. Sarah Marble's probably my top favorite for her training videos, teaching you about network marketing, how it works, the nuts and bolts of reaching out to people, having a system, duplicating. Tamara Holloway is a great person to follow and learn from. She's going to teach you some of those nuts and bolts on reaching out as well, training and coaching team members, leading three-way calls with people. She's going to teach you invaluable tools. Then there's also Sonia Dudley. So if you're having challenges with your mindset on getting over some negativity or changing how you're looking at something, Sonia Dudley is your girl. Okay, so she has fabulous videos on how to change your thinking so that you can get past those hurdles and humps so that you can move forward in your business. Plexus Worldwide YouTube channel. This one's fabulous. They posted guiding documentaries. We've got our corporate sponsored training videos like the product videos, the compensation plan videos, and other calls as well. Those are invaluable to your business. And then there's also Plexus U. Plexus U is a YouTube channel, and what that is these are videos that are on a variety of different topics that are really vital to your business, basics of your business. These are developed and led by Kristen and Jarrett Abart. They are both Diamond Ambassadors, they're husband and wife, both Diamond Ambassadors, and their videos are excellent. They're very professionally done. So those are really good resources. Team pages. You guys, we talk about this all the time. You're probably adding your people as they join your team to your team pages, but make sure you are on these larger team pages. We're the huge organization that we are under is the Destination Diamond Dream Team, led by Jen Hawkins and Celeste Gwynn, both Diamond Ambassadors. Great page for research. Make sure that you are on that page if you are not already. You can set it up to where you don't receive notifications for every single alert. That way you have access to just go at will and look at the information. The same with Roz's Plexus Power Team. All right. Rosalind Kane is a Diamond Ambassador. She is underneath Celeste Gwynn. You want to make sure you're on her page for valuable information and research, getting feedback on questions. Also, we're under the Elite Fleet team, led by Emerald, soon-to-be Sapphire Ambassador Susan Stern. That is my upline. You want to make sure you are part of her team page as well. And then there's the Freedom Finders, which is my team page. Every single person that is active in their business needs to be on the Freedom Finders page. Training, motivation, inspiration, feedback, bringing messages and communications down from corporate and so forth. All of the above, I strive to do on this team page. Training calls. All right, these are the ones I think are absolutely the most important. There are other calls out there that we may see and communicate about from time to time. These are the standing ones that I highly recommend every week. Monday Night Live. This is the call that the Freedom Finders team does. We currently rotate between team leaders on leading the calls. You can see last week it was led by Carlene Seld. Tomorrow night it's going to be led by Gold Ambassador Mellis Wilkinson. So you'll be seeing the information on that tomorrow. You definitely don't want to miss that. Those are every Monday night. Then we have our Destination Diamond Dream Team weekly calls. Those come out every Monday. I usually post them in the first part of the week. And then we have our Power Team Road to Silver, Road to Gold monthly calls. These used to be on a weekly basis, but now they're going to be on the first Monday of every month. And these are awesome. And they're recorded, so they're available on demand. So I highly recommend that you are plugging into those weekly for your personal training on all sorts of topics that are invaluable to your business. All right, so all of this, what is your goal? You've got to have your why. You've got to know that you need to be sharing, following up, and training yourself, but you've got to know what your goal is. I tell everybody set an end of year goal. Okay, we're 80 days out from the end of the year now, so over 2 months. So you need to have your end of year goal in mind, and then you need to have your monthly goal. Your monthly goal may be, if you're new, maybe it's covering your product costs. Maybe it's making $500 a month, adding 3 new customers, adding 3 new team members. It needs to be things that are measurable so that you know when you have reached that goal. And all part of goal setting is having a strategy session with your upline. I highly recommend doing that, at least checking in monthly and going over your goals on a monthly basis with your upline. Okay, so strategy and coaching sessions with your upline or with your team members, okay, if you have a team. These are things that I am doing with new ambassadors, and these are things that I am doing with seasoned ambassadors who are my level 1. So new ambassadors, when I do a coaching or strategy session with them, I am going to talk about their why. I'm going to talk about what their first goal should be. And this is led by their direction of what they tell me, and I can help them develop that. Okay? And then it's going to be helping them with their first Facebook post, how to post on Facebook, how they can find material for things to post, in addition to posting personal things about their experiences so far, friending other ambassadors and how important that is, getting their first list of 20 people together, helping them work that list and know how to reach out to the people that are on that list. And then maybe that's in helping them being on a 3-way call with them, giving them sample messages that they can take and use for their own, helping them know what to say and how to reach out. For seasoned ambassadors, this is going to be somebody that's been working the business for a little while. When I start and do a first coaching session with them, I'm really going to try to get a picture, even if I already know what's going on in their business. I want to hear from them what is going on in their business. What is the reality of their business in its current state? So what's happening? What are the statistics on their business? Meaning, how many team members do they have right now? What level are they at? How many points did they end with in the last month? Where are they in regards to promoting to the next level? I also want to get how they feel about their business right now. And then we want to really make sure that they have a strong why and that they have that really narrowed down and understand what that is, have a strong why that is something that they can effectively and efficiently share with other people. And then I'm going to, talk about what do I see for them. I really want to help build that belief into them in their journey and their what they're doing and what they're building for the future. And then I also want to ask them, what are their top challenges that they see in their business right now? Help them see what roadblocks they might have if they aren't sure. I'm also going to ask them for permission if I can point out challenges or roadblocks that I might see as we go along and work together. That way we can work through those and get over those hurdles, get around them, move on to the next thing. So asking for their input and also asking for their permission to give my input as I see it. So these are the two things that I use as strategy and coaching with new ambassadors and with seasoned ambassadors. Putting it all together. Okay, you guys, if you've been around for a while, you know that we talk about there is not a secret to this type of business. There's just not. It's a system. So the system is having a list of people to contact and keep adding to that. Contacting and sharing with the people on that list, whether that be through a phone call, a text message, an email, a Facebook message, in person with a coffee date or what have you. Showing them the plan. You can use different tools to do that. You might just use a catalog. Even if you haven't purchased catalogs, you should have received one in your welcome pack. You can just walk through the catalog with them and go through information that is going to be pertinent to them. You could give them a sample. You could give them a 3-day trial. You could show them a video that is really going to fit their need, maybe on the products. For instance, there's an excellent triplex video that's out there. Maybe it's on the opportunity. So there's different ways that you can share with them. Okay? Then you're going to be following up. And then you're going to be getting them started as a customer, ambassador, or referral source. So this is the system. Okay? This is the system for how to be successful in Plexus. Now, how do you work the system? Okay, so we want to make sure we understand that there is a system. There are proven things on how to be successful. Now, what we need to do is figure out how do we work within the system that's already laid out for us to make it work for us. That's in setting monthly goals, of course, like we talked about. You've got to have a goal so you know what you're working towards. Okay? Part of your monthly goals are you have to set those weekly goals for yourself. You have to lay out what activities you're going to do for working your business. And you want to make sure that the activities and the time that you're spending are on income-producing activities. Income-producing activities are going to be those activities that grow and expand your business. Income-producing activities are going to be reaching out to new people, following up with people, helping a customer, answer questions. They're going to be sharing the opportunity. They're going to be training a new team member. Those are all going to be income-producing activities that are vital to your business growing. So what are weekly goals that you want to be working on? Your weekly goals and activities should be working in the 5-3-1 method. They should be working in social media. They should be working in expanding your network, working on personal development, and then also events. Okay? So the 5-3-1 method, this is reaching out to 5 new people. This is just a way that you can track what you are doing. Okay, so reaching out to 5 new people, following up with 3 people, and training 1 new person or yourself. Now this method can be done, this can be repeated 5 times let's just say per week, not per day. 5 times per week. It can be done 3 times per week, 2 times per week, or 1 time per week, depending upon what your goals are. So you need to make sure that you are looking at what your goals are and you're being aggressive with how you're spending your time, but you're also going to have to look at your time availability and be realistic with that as well. Okay? So you set how many times you're going to work this 5-3-1 method within a week. And then you're going to look at social media. Social media is going to be where you brand yourself as a Plexus expert. This is going to be where you are having that consistent, constant drip campaign. This is going to be where you become consistent on one social media before beginning another. Okay, so primarily most of us use Facebook as our primary social medium. You might use some others as well, like Instagram or Pinterest, maybe even some others. So make sure that you are becoming consistent in one before you learn or start to use another. Okay, so using other social media can be a way to increase your audience. There may be some people in your friend circle that may be on Instagram who aren't on Facebook, or vice versa. So that is a way that you can work in expanding your network. Also, you want to make sure in being consistent and having a constant drip campaign that you are posting consistently. So you set that goal for you and what works for your goals. Is that posting about Plexus 3 to 4 times a day? Is it 2 times a day? Every day? Whatever that is, you need to make that goal every single week, and then you need to be consistent in that goal. Okay, and it's proven the more you post, people that have done that, the more that they have posted, the more successful they have been in sales. And so what you need to do is weigh that with what you're willing to do, and then be consistent. And then also continue to share your personal life. You want to make sure you're still sharing, even if it's just little things, even if it's just something of what you're making for dinner. Just make sure that you continue to share your life because it is social media. Okay? All right, so expanding your network is the next one. This is going to be adding people to that list. If you just started with 20 people, or maybe you just started with 100 people, this is continuing to add to that list. It's also going to be adding friends to your Facebook. So adding new people that you are not Facebook friends with already or other social media networks. This could be joining new groups or organizations, things you're interested in. Find something that you can be involved in that you're going to enjoy and that you're going to meet new people. This could be joining online groups on Facebook. This could be asking customers for referrals, reconnecting with old or past friends, meeting people while you're out and about, whether it's running errands or you're grocery shopping or whatever. So these are all different ways and suggestions on how you can expand your network. And what you need to do is set a goal in that every week on, okay, am I going to add 5 new people to my contact list this week? Am I going to add 5 new Facebook friends? Am I going to look for a new group or activity that I can be involved in? Or if you're already involved in a new group or activity, maybe it's talking with someone one-on-one and getting to know them. So whatever those ways can be, you want to constantly be expanding your network. And not just for your business, but also for your own personal growth. Now, personal development. You guys, this business is 90% personal development and 10% Plexus. Okay? The more you know and the more you develop as a person, the more you are going to grow in this business. So how you can develop personally, this could be reading and studying books on network marketing or other skill set building, or learning how to do things better, learning how to share with people. As I talked with in the beginning on sharing with people, I mentioned speaking their language. And so if you are not familiar yet with the 4 color personalities of MLM, that is a book by Big Al Schreider, and he goes through and helps you identify what personality type people are so that you can speak in a way that's going to be meaningful to them. That is huge. So I highly recommend that. This is going to be personal development. It could be watching YouTube training videos, reading testimonies of people, building that belief in our products and our company, researching products so you're more knowledgeable, participating in team calls, going to events. Going to events are huge for your personal development, building your passion and belief in the company, getting to network with other ambassadors who you may not have been able to meet in person yet, or get to talk with, and learning from them what's working for them and how they're becoming successful, and just, the whole 9 yards. So it's a huge, huge part of your personal development, as well as a huge piece of your business. And with that being said, events, make this a goal. This one is not necessarily a weekly goal. This is going to be more of a suggested monthly goal, to attend a live meeting or training, or host an event or training per month. These are key to our business, you guys. You absolutely, you can't duplicate what happens at a live event. You just can't. You can talk about it. You can have phone calls with people, but you cannot duplicate what happens at a live event. And so if there are not events going on in your area, or you're not sure if they are, then get on the different pages, search for your city, make sure you are on the Plexus Opportunities Meeting Only Facebook group page, where only different events in different cities are listed. Talk to your upline on who you might be able to connect with in your area. Host your own event. So you don't have to have a team or be very far along yet in your business to host your own event. But these are huge. And as you can see here from the photo, this photo grid, this is our huge power team. Rosalind Payne is our Diamond Ambassador, and this is our huge team of all of us on her team that went to convention this year. To the right of that, those are all the people that went to Leaders Retreat last year. From that Leaders Retreat, you can see the bottom pictures here. Josh and I have become such close friends with people that we met at Leaders Retreat last year, you guys. And events are not only the key to helping you grow your business, but they are invaluable to the relationships that you can develop through Plexus. That has been a blessing that has been totally unexpected, and I believe that's something that each of you can find. So events are where you really can connect with people and really form lifelong friendships and also business relationships. Okay, so I know this is kind of hard to read, and I am going to post this on the Freedom Finders in the files. This is a weekly goal sheet. Now, if any of you guys were involved in the Step Up in September challenge, and I've mentioned this in a prior video about a week or so ago, what this is, I'm telling you, set a monthly goal and then set a weekly goal. So as part of setting weekly goals, you want to make sure that you are working in each of these categories so that you know that the activities that you are doing are going to be vital to growing your business. Primarily in the 531 category and in the expanding your market category. You definitely need to be working in social media, and you need to be developing personally, and you need to be consistent in getting or hosting events on at least a monthly basis. But what this does is give you a framework to work within the system that we know works. Okay? This is giving you a framework to go, okay, what are the activities that I need to be doing this week so that I can reach my monthly goals? How many reach outs am I going to do this week? Am I going to do 531 one time? Am I going to do it 3 times? Am I going to do it every single day? So you need to sit down and think about what your goal is going to be. And then you're going to have that list ready to go. So when you start the week and when you sit down in your practice time each day, you have all that. You know exactly what you need to be doing, and you have the information that you need right there. Social media. How often are you going to be posting on Facebook? Are you going to spend some time learning or getting comfortable with another type of social media? So whatever it is, however you can grow in this area, you want to make sure you continue to do that. Expanding your market, as I mentioned, 531 and expanding your market are 2 very crucial things on this list. Expanding your market is just vital to your business. You've got to continue to add to that list. You've got to continue to expand your audience and get involved and continue to meet new people. So that's equally important. So set a goal for yourself. Is it going to be, I'm going to go on, I'm going to look for some new friends from high school on Facebook. And I'm going to challenge myself that I'm going to add 5 new friends to Facebook who are non-Plexus people. Is it going to be that I'm going to reach out to 3 new people and reconnect with them and just restart that friendship? Is it going to be that I'm going to talk to a new person at this organization that I'm involved in? Or if I'm going to join a new organization. So each week you need to be doing something to expand your market. Personal development, is that going to be that you're going to watch a training video? Is that going to be that you're going to dial in and listen to training calls, things like this, whatever it's going to be? Or is it you need to learn some different skills better so that you can perform better with 531 in reaching out to people and following up so that your success rate can go up? Whatever that going to be, whatever that is, that's going to be in the personal development category. So figure out what you need to be learning, watching, listening to, studying, or reading so that you can become better and better. And then events. Make it a goal to attend or host, a live event or training each month. So utilize your upline and talk to other people and figure out what may be going on in your area or how you may host something yourself so that you can grow your business that way. Okay. Also, time management. We talk about setting goals, setting weekly goals, and the activities that you need to be doing. But you've got to get better at managing your time. I would say this is probably a really huge struggle for most of us as ambassadors. So you've got to make sure that you're intentional about your time. You can fit this business in very small increments of time, but you have to be intentional and focused with it. So you need to block out time. So you need to, before the week starts, you need to go, okay, here's what my week looks like. I've got work that's here. I've got kids' activities that are here, or I've got other evening activities. I need to block those out. And then I need to go in and look for the time that I'm going to spend on my practice business. Okay? Also, look for things that you can give up. Is it, frivolous activities like watching TV? What things can you do to free up your time while still keeping priorities? Okay? So definitely think about what are some things that you can either put on hold, what are some things that you can give up altogether to make more time in order to focus on these activities and work your business and to reach your goals. And then you want to set your sights on your why and on your goals. So we're coming full circle all the way back to our why. And as we work through these different things, we're going to be remembering what our why is, because we're going to be sharing our why with people. When we share with people, we're not just saying, hey, buy my products, join my team. We're saying, this is why I'm so passionate about this. This is what it's done for me. This is what it's doing for my family. This is what I'm seeing it do for team members and people I know or people I'm meeting. This is what I'm learning. These are what my goals are. Share your passion, share your beliefs, share your why with people. Share with them what your goals are with this business. Share with them what you're learning. Don't just share with them the nuts and bolts on how to purchase products and how to join your team. Because people are going to buy from you and people are going to join you because of your belief and your passion. So here's the summary. The summary is to learn the system, work within the system that is proven. Okay, so maybe that means that you get to learn some skills better. And so as you practice those, you're going to get better and better at working the skills within the system. So that would be perfecting them, not working outside of that system. So you're always going to have your own personal spin on things. Your personality and who you are as a person is always going to come through in what you're doing. But you want to make sure that you are working within the system that we know works. Okay? And then you want to be, as you're adding team members, you want to be duplicating what you are doing and what you are learning to your team members. Because what you want to do is you want to get better and better as an ambassador so that you can grow your business, and you want your team members doing exactly what you are doing. You want your team members working the system, getting better at working the system. So they are duplicating you, and then having their personality, who they are coming through. but then they're going to duplicate it to people as they grow their team. So that is the name of the game, is duplication. Okay, so now what I want to do is here we're at the top of the hour. So I realize some of you guys may have to jump off. I try to get through this as quickly as possible. I do want to stay on for anyone who is willing and able and may have some questions to stay on here and ask any questions related to what we've talked about tonight. So while I get back to kind of the speaker mode here, feel free to unmute yourself and ask any questions that you have. Okay, there you guys are. Okay. All right, does anyone have any questions at all? Yes, Jackie, raise your hand. Want to unmute yourself? Your microphone, let me see if I can unmute you. I don't know if I can. Your microphone should be unmute. There you go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hi, you're welcome.
I have a question about what we've talked about. And as far as like, you know, kind of pushing your team to post and all of that, how are you dealing with ambassadors that may be under you that get really frustrated with the new system? How do you keep them motivated to want to continue to do this?
Okay, that's a good question. And just so you know, I'm not going to get into any like back office specific questions during this time. I've got a long list that are on my plate to answer. So I'll do those either individually or on the team page. But really it's just, you know, what I've been trying to do is just keep everybody focused on the big picture. And if we can all stay focused on the big picture, then that helps us a lot. So, and that's also true in just working the business. As you get farther and farther into your business, and as you're trying to learn, especially if you're new or, you know, learning something new, it's always a challenge and it's always easy to get lost in the weeds. It's, you know, it feel like, oh my gosh, okay, this is overwhelming, or it's challenging, or I don't know what I'm doing. These are all common things that all of us have felt as ambassadors. Don't know what I'm doing at all on products, knowledge, anything at all. How do I do this? And you really have to kind of step back for a second and just go, okay, what do I know? I know this is a company that I joined, and I know that this company is the real deal. I know that this company is passionate. I know that they care. I know they have products that are amazing and change people's lives. I know this opportunity is giving people financial freedom and giving them the ability to do things that they've never been able to do. So things like that are what helps me kind of keep the big picture, so that I can stay focused on what I'm doing while working my business, or even hard hurdles like the new back office system. Is I have to kind of keep myself in check on what I know to be true, and stay focused on that, you know, and that you're going to get past that hurdle and just to kind of keep, you know, plugging away at it. Does that help a little bit? Okay. Anybody else have a question? Yes, Brenna. Let me see. Can you unmute yourself? Let me see if I can unmute you.
There.
Oh.
Muted.
Sorry, I just remuted you. Sorry. Go ahead. Hi.
Okay. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What was the name of that book that you mentioned that you were talking about it in the personal development? What was the name of the book?
Question. It's called The 4 Color Personalities of MLM.
Of what?
Of MLM. It's multi-level marketing, MLM.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
It's by Big Al Schreider, but if you just type that in, I found it on Amazon. I actually just bought it as an Audible version. You can buy it as a Kindle for like $4.95.
Okay.
Or you can buy the book pretty inexpensively too. And it's not very long. So, and it's really, really good.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. Awesome. Anybody else have a question? Everybody knows everything. Everybody knows how to close the deal, right? You guys already added like 10 team members today. I see I can't talk anymore. No? No questions? What I really found, and some of this is not going to be new information to you guys. It's stuff we went through tonight. But again, what I have found is it's a system, and we have to continue to go back to that system and work within it and get better and better at the skills of that system. So that is why we're going through this. So not only for people that are newer ambassadors, but also those of you guys that have teams. Because even if you're a team leader, no matter what level you're at, if you want to continue to grow, you have to continue to work your business personally. And so that's why it's so vital. And it's also vital that not only are you working your business personally, but that you're duplicating that to new people that you add. So if we can all kind of work within the same system, that's the key. That's the key. So I think setting the weekly goals has been really helpful for a lot of people. Those that participated in the Step Up in September really seemed to like that because it gave a framework, and then you're kind of picking and choosing according to what your goals and needs are for your business. You have freedom and flexibility, but you still have some guidelines to help you stay focused. So people have really found that to work well. Okay, questions?
Hello, this is Todd. I am not on video. I'm just on audio. Can you hear me?
I can. Hey, Todd.
Hey, sorry, I'm not able to be video member tonight. Just been listening in and kind of wanted to throw this out there. And I know I have a question, and of course, part of the question, a piece of my question puzzle is new back office related, but really the question, I think the meat of it is not really that. But, obviously a theme of this call, and you said it a couple times, is, doing the basics, getting back to the basics and not trying to reinvent anything, but just doing what we know to be true, what we know works. And of course, two of the most basic things are adding customers and adding ambassadors. And those two things are just being very inconsistent right now as far as, people one day seem to be having success adding new customers or a new ambassador, via the new back office. And then the next day, they're doing the exact same things and they're having success. And they're running into roadblocks or running into, frustration or whatever. And so I guess my question is, because, our enrollment, I know just in my downline in particular is not strong this month compared to the several months at this time in the. And so I guess my question becomes, when those two essentials are so kind of iffy right now, what are we telling people when when we can't even when we don't even always have the answers about the two basics, enrolling customers and enrolling ambassadors? And is there some light at the end of the tunnel? How can we encourage our people specifically about those two basics right now?
Absolutely. Okay, so your question is on the logistics of adding new customers and new ambassadors at this point in time.
Yeah, because all the other intricacies of the new system are great, and it'll be awesome when this, that, and the other work. But it's just those two things. That's the crux, of what we live by, is adding our customer base and our ambassadors
Absolutely.
today. So I guess I'm just wondering, how can we do that right now?
Absolutely, that's a good question. And so not to get too far into the back obvious, so that's an obvious issue right now. We know that the only way that our business grows is by adding customers and by adding ambassadors. And we've definitely had some challenges this past week, past 10 days because of our new system. And so right now, some things like you said are not 100% consistent. Some people are able to join one day and then not able. And so we're still seeing these bugs and kinks worked out in our system. We are. And so I'm not going to deny that there's issues because there are. So there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. I know that it's going to be fixed.
I think you're out.
Yeah, hang on one second. Okay, sorry, it's country internet out here, so hopefully it'll hang. So we know that those things are going to be fixed. We're all hoping sooner rather than later. We've seen some major improvements. We still have quite a few people that are having some challenges and so forth, unfortunately. So hang on, I'm going to mute you again, Todd. Actually, if you can mute yourself, that'll probably help. But anyway, we're just going to have to muddle through. And so what I would say is as you continue to work your business, and that's key, that we don't stop working our business. And I know that there is some anxiety around that right now because it's inconsistent and there's still bugs going on. And we're like, well, gosh, what if this person is ready to order or ready to join? And I don't know if they can. So that's a real anxiety. But we've got to continue working our business. We can't stop. And so what I would do is to have you in a very positive way be coaching those people. So as you're following up with people and continuing to do those activities, you want to be, okay, are they ready to order now? And then telling people, hey, we've got a new website. We've got some amazing new features. It is literally brand new. And so we are learning it, and we've got some things, that when you're ready to order, if you have any, give them the steps to do, and then tell them, if you have any questions or issues, please let me know so that I can, make sure that we get those fixed and worked out. So I think letting people know in a positive way that we have a brand new website is totally fine. And putting it out there, I wouldn't put the seed out there, hey, you're going to have problems, because we don't know. We don't know. But putting that out there that if there is an issue, that way if they do, they're like, oh, well, Caroline told me to come back to her if I had a question or an issue, and we would work it out. So I think putting that out there like that can be really helpful and can really help us as we continue to work our business and reach out to people. So that's really what I suggest. And I do definitely believe there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm ready. I'm ready to see the light. I see it off in the distance, and it is getting closer, you guys. A bunch of us are going to be in Washington, D.C. With the executives this week. And you better believe that if some things are not getting ironed out, then they're going to be in front of all of us. So just to let you know that, things are getting worked out. So we just got to stick with it. And I know that on the corporate call, they did mention to us, hey, this is consistent with other systems being implemented in other organizations. We're not talking about a new software, a new thing. We're talking about a complete new business system for the whole thing. This system controls what customers see. It controls what we see. It controls the whole ordering process, behind the scenes, customer service, everything. So when you think of it in that magnitude, it is understandable that there are going to be some really inconvenient issues. But they're getting worked out, and I do have complete faith that they are. So I would just continue to remind yourself, if you feel frustrated, to just kind of walk away and get a little perspective before going back to it, and remind your team members that, hey, it is going to be completely awesome, and if we can just hang in there for a while longer, I think we're going to see some major improvements, and we're going to see the consistency that we're used to come back. See, that's the problem. We're used to a consistent system. And right now, with it still being perfected, that's the part that's bothering us. So we're used to our people being able to order and join with no issues. And so that's something that is definitely made it better. So I hope I answered your question. I think he's muted again. Anybody else have a question related to the income producing activities or system that we've talked about tonight? Oh, Lauren has had her hand raised. Hang on, Lauren. Let me find you.
Wondering,
There
like,
you are.
what
Hi.
do you do to, yeah. What are you doing to close the deal? Like, you followed up a couple of times. I just would like to know, like, what do you do? I have a system that kind of works for me, but I like to hear other people's perspectives, because sometimes if I hit a wall, you know, I would like to try something new. So how do you close the deal after you followed up a couple times?
After several times, you know, really, I mentioned that color personality. That is really changing the way I'm communicating with people. And it's something that I'm learning how to identify, because there's a reason. If we cannot close somebody and they came to us and said they are totally interested, tell me more, and then nothing, there's a reason for that. And it could be other things, but probably at least 8 times out of 10, it's going to be because we are not communicating to them what they need and how they need it. So I really believe that that's probably one of our biggest challenges when we can't close. You know, and then it's going to be a timing and an urgency thing on their end. But if we're speaking their language, then we're going to be able to increase that urgency on their end. So really what I'm doing is really trying to go back to people that I've been working with and go, okay, what personality, what have I seen in them, and what personality do I think they are, so that I can speak that way to them, that's going to bring them back to that point that they were ready, like they were before. Also increasing personal communications, whether that's getting somebody on the phone, whether that's sending a personal voice memo or whatever. I am really increasing that way, so it is more personal, so they can hear my voice and passion, and so I can hear theirs. So that's something that I am definitely doing to close the deal more, is learning more about their personality and how I need to deliver the message to them, and then the personal interaction. That's a great question.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, who else has a question? I know we're past time. I don't want you guys to feel like you have to like sit on here, but I also want to make sure that I'm on to answer all questions. So, you know, a few more minutes and we're going to go. So get it in now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just want to make a general point about 2 things that we do well as a group. Is the time blocking thing is really, really important. For those of us who are working our day jobs or you have kids, figuring out how much time you actually have to do Plexus, that's something that's taken me months to do and then try to stick with. So it's really, really helpful. Just figure out what you have time-wise each day, and you kind of plug it into that. And then the second thing is, this is relationship building. So what works for you? For, you know, Melis and some of those, the phone calls are fantastic ways to reach out. I love having breakfast or coffee or lunch with somebody, and I try to do that often, and that's how I build those relationships. So find what's comfortable for you. Get it in your head that one phone call, one contact is not going to make or break or it's not going to build your business. But it's a step to building your business. So you need to do that multiple times in order for this to be successful. So we want to help more people. We need to get in front of more people.
unmute myself. We're across the house from each other. So when he's talking, I have to mute mine so that we don't have this crazy feedback going on. So hilarious. Yeah, those are excellent points. All right, last call. Happy letter, anything? I love seeing your face, girl. I'm calling you out. Not in a bad way, though. Christina, good to see you too. Yeah, it's good to see all of you. I'm just thinking about the ones I haven't really met or talked to in person. So,
okay, I can throw one out there.
Who do we have? Who is that? Oh, good, Kathy. Hello.
Kathy Luter.
Hello.
Hi. I have met a few other Plexus ambassadors in my area that are not on our team. I think our connection is Celeste. So we're quite a bit separate because I think I'm 7 in her 7 on down. She has graciously invited me to come to her event that she holds monthly to learn how to do it and things like that. And I haven't asked her yet, but should I feel comfortable asking her if I can invite my friends to her event, or I don't know what to do with that. Any thoughts?
Yes. Typically, most ambassadors, and I'm going to say most ambassadors have no problem with other ambassadors coming that are not on their team coming to their event and bringing guests. We are one Plexus. Most of us work that way. The more we can get information out to people, and we always refer people back to their ambassador who invited them, the better off we all are, you guys. One, more people are getting healthier, and two, it helps our pay point. So there's no downside at all. So I would say, and I say most ambassadors work that way. I've only heard of a few that don't, but it sounds like she does, because you say she's under Celeste? I think you said she is. So we're under the same diamond organization, and that's the way we work. And so I would just say, hey, you can ask her if you want, but I would not think that there would be any problem at all with that. As long as she has it as an open event, you might ask. If it's at a small house or something, then that may be where you want to ask because of space. But if she's having it more in an open venue, then it's usually not an issue. But congratulations, that's awesome. Okay, last call, for real.
Okay, Caroline, one more.
Okay, who is this?
It's Jackie.
Hello. Okay, I'm like, who's talking?
How do you deal with ambassadors who seem like they're excited about posting? How do you keep them encouraged when they post and then they fall away? I mean, I try to go to their page and say, something that's similar. Oh, I'm having the same experience, just to try to show them that there's other people out there that feel that way. But how do you go about helping your ambassadors stay encouraged with posting?
I really just kind of try to remind them that they know when they post that, those that have been consistent before and then sometimes drop off, that have had people order from them because they posted, I remind them of that. I'm like, well, you know what happens when you post. You get some people interested, whatever, and so you stop, then you're sending an inconsistent message. And so that's really what I try to communicate, is to kind of remind them of that, and the importance of being consistent. And that, if they get down about not having likes and comments, if that's the reason, I really just try to remind them that that's kind of the name of the game. We do all try to help each other, but if we also all can't see every single post and comment on every single thing that we see. So it's just kind of the nature of the game that, most of the time we're probably not going to have likes and comments
Right.
on every post, and you just have to think of it as a drip campaign. So it's a slow drip that you're layering on people every day. And if you turn that faucet all the way off, then nothing is coming through. So that's really kind of how I try to get, my team members to think of it.
Okay, let me ask you one more follow-up with that. How often do you feel feel like you have to motivate I know for me, motivation is kind of an intrinsic thing. I don't feel like I really need someone liking my posts. How often do you find yourself trying to motivate your team? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and with that, it's a balance because we want to constantly encourage and inspire, and try to recognize, but we also can't be the only source of somebody's motivation. They have to have some motivation in them already to propel them forward, and we can just come alongside and help fuel that. So I really, that's something that I've been learning, honestly, is that I cannot totally motivate somebody. They have to have something already, and I can stoke that fire a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
help them along, but they've got to have a little bit. So they have to decide, and it kind of comes down to what do they want out of this, and what is their why. And there are different times where we all could be down. So there's times where we may need to give some extra encouragement if somebody's having a rough hurdle or a rough time. So I'm not talking about that. But, typically, when somebody is newer, I'm really giving them love on posts and I'm really paying attention. And as they start flying on their own a little bit, then I'm moving on a little bit. And then I'm still going to come back and I'm still there. That's what we want people to do too, is to be able to fly on their own so that they can be duplicating in their team and we can go on and help, newer people go too. So it's kind of that constant cycle. So I really just have come to grips with I cannot be the only motivation someone has every single day. They've got to have something inside of them that's going to move them forward, and they may have to find what that is. If they're not motivated, then I really think that maybe they haven't found a strong enough why yet, and maybe there's some other hurdle other than that's going on.
Okay. I just didn't know, how much, where the point is with encouraging to the point of hovering, and I definitely don't want to hover, but I do want to encourage anyone who's an off and on post, trying to encourage them and like their posts and comment on them when they do. So that's kind of where I was, I guess, going. I didn't know how often you really did that.
I honestly,
Thank you.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't. Once I see him kind of taking off, then I'm not leaving. I'm just taking a step to the side. I'm still really, really, really close. And as they get a little bit farther, then okay. So it's kind of that. I don't have kids, but I've babysat a lot. And the crying child that you lay them down, but as soon as you leave the room, they cry. And so you're trying to make your way out of the room. It's kind of how it seems, at times. But you eventually have to leave the room and let them be on their own. So, I really kind of have that mindset. But, some people are going to need a little bit more encouragement, but it also can't suck you dry either, where you're only spending your time and attention on encouraging and trying to keep that person motivated. So you're going to have to find that balance. And you may just have to have that conversation too of, hey, I want to make sure that I am helping you with what you need, and I'm going to, continue to check on you and encourage you and stuff, but I also don't want to get in the way of what I know you can do which is, I know you can totally take off on this. So, maybe kind of some kind of, asking if they're having a rough day, will they come to you so that you can give that extra dose of encouragement and know what's going on and still stay in contact with them regularly as well. So maybe it's a short weekly coaching call with that person. Okay, I'd love to just check in with you weekly. We can budget 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, and maybe you can get some of that on a weekly cycle every week or something, so that it's not daily. So, hope that helps. All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. I know you East Coasters are like snoozing. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and end it. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate it. I hope this is helpful for you guys. I see a bunch of you guys who are team leaders, and so this is really, I think, the key that what we can take, and we've got a system. We've got to continue to work it. I think we get lost in how to duplicate, and we've got to go back to the system. So this is where it all is. I also have an idea, and I've also talked with another ambassador on our team about just onboarding new ambassadors, and sometimes that feels like, is there a process for what we should do in onboarding new team members? And so I do have some ideas with that, of just kind of trying to streamline and simplify and make sure we're onboarding people in the right way. So we'll talk more about that. But anyway, hope you guys have a great night. And I firmly believe you can all get to Maui, or whatever your highest goal is. So let's do it. Let's do it ourselves, and let's duplicate it. So I love you guys. Hope you have a great night. Okay, bye.